Hey, what's up, everybody? You are watching On the Town with Tanya. Thank you so much for joining us again this week. We appreciate you. So this week, I'm excited. Author Spotlight. This week's guest, he has three books, including two horror novels, The Cove Tree and Hindred Spirits. He is working on a third horror novel. Please welcome Ed Perratore. Did I get it
Thank you
right?
very much, Tanya. Very happy to be here.
Thank you so much for joining us. I'm looking at my lighting here. Hopefully, we won't have any problems. There's a storm going on as we speak, guys. So
It's
bear
very,
with us.
very appropriate. Very appropriate
Yeah,
for talking about horror to have a thunderstorm going on in the background as we speak.
exactly. That's what I'm thinking. I'm like,
Mm.
oh, this could work out for our benefit here. Uh,
Mhm.
so, um, likers, if you can hit the subscribe button, that would be nice. And if you could share, that would be nice because somebody might be inspired to keep writing. So inspiration. Where do you typically find your inspiration for your stories when you write?
Well, for me, I would say it's in the everyday
Mhm,
things around us that we take for granted, things of feelings of security, of
mhm,
family, of
mhm,
home, of various things that we just take for granted. The first of novel of mine, Hindred Spirits,
oh yeah.
is it's a home. It's a dysfunctional home, and
Mhm,
in Hindred Spirits, children who are having unbearable lives, whether from abuse, bullying,
mhm,
various dysfunctions that go on in families, they have in this book a release. Their spirits can leave their bodies for a couple of hours every night, while the bodies sometimes recover.
mhm.
And one girl, Natalie Leffingwell, 9-year-old girl, sweet little thing at the beginning of the book, um,
At the
learns,
beginning, I don't like the way you threw that
learns
in
how to
there.
do this. She learns how to do this, but there's one rule that
Mhm.
in case of danger to your body, your spirit has to rush back and rejoin.
Okay,
So this
that's
is one.
interesting.
In that case, it's family. It's of just the everyday, the living life, the life of the land of the living that we
Mhm,
all enjoy and take for granted. That's the beginning premise of that one. In the Coventry, it's thoughts of home, of just your everyday routine, of everything that you just take for granted. You have, say, like you have a home, maybe you have a family, maybe you're married, maybe you have a child, maybe you have a job,
mhm.
a business, something that you think, all right, this is my life. And
Right.
then along comes something that turns everything on its head.
Oh
That
wow.
is the Coventry.
Ooh, I love that tree, by the way. That tree that
It's
got a
it's
lot of history.
it's a real tree. And but that is what happens in that one. And in the third one, the one I have not even revealed the title yet, I'm working on now.
Okay.
It is also notions of things that we take for granted, that the way we interact with people that we
Mhm.
take for granted. This is probably more of a socially conscious novel
Okay.
than I've written. Although Hindred Spirits is right in there too. But this is one where children who do something habitually
Mhm.
at a certain age um, upset nature in a sense.
Okay.
And it comes back to transform their lives when they are trying to make their lives.
Mm.
They're in their 30s now, these children, and something begins to happen to them because of one action that they made and then repeated for old time's sake as adults.
Ah, what sparked you
This
for this latest book? What gave you the what inclination you have from this latest book? Inspiration.
this particular one, it started with a game that my own children played in Mount Kisco in Leonard Park, a
I
certain
love it.
little building that they ran around and a certain chant that they would make. And it was innocent and harmless in real
Hmm.
life,
Okay.
but it intrigued me. It always intrigued me. And I finally thought, there's something here I can do something with.
Right.
And of course, My children are not in the book. Nobody anyone knows is in this novel. They're all fictional characters, but actually set in Mount Kisco and surrounding towns.
Yeah, sorry, got feedback there. Sorry about that. I love Mount Kisco. That's a great place backdrop for anything scary.
Thank you.
Yeah, well,
and
because we got little pockets. That's what I mean by that. Like it's a great town, but it is also one of those towns that'd be perfect set for a novel or for a movie. For some reason, I don't know. Just it's a great idea.
yeah,
What
it has a lot of
mhm,
history too.
it does a lot of history, and I'm trying to dig some myself. Very good stuff. I mean, just amazing stuff. I'm just finding out. I'm trying to get more details on, but it is a great place to set any kind of novel. So that's good. Um, what does a what does a typical writing day look like for you?
Well, these days we have so many things going on that it's kind of like I scratch out a couple of hours one
Right.
day and one hour another day, and sometimes I'll escape to the library for a while.
Hmm.
Um, but I do it a little bit at a time, but I don't want to rush on it because there are a lot of moving parts in this particular novel, and I want to
Oh,
get them all right. And there are whole themes that I
wow.
want to be true to because
Hmm.
there's a universality to this. What
Okay.
these grown children are experiencing is similar to what a lot of people these days are experiencing in everyday life.
Okay.
That's as far as
Okay.
I'm going with that.
That's as far as you won't kill us anymore, people. How do you
Yes.
develop or refine your ideas into like a full fledged novel? Like, so we can think about a lot of things, right? Even for comedy,
Yeah.
think about, oh, that's a joke. But then it's like when you stretch it out, it's like maybe not. How do you develop that?
Well, it's kind of like I had a period of months during which I was writing about the novel, not writing the novel.
Hmm.
And I set up a spreadsheet for each of the characters, like all the basic things about them,
You
their
sound like you're writing a movie.
backgrounds. I'm sorry.
That's what people write movies do.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of like I have to know these characters as if I had known them all my life.
I
Otherwise, I
like
can't
it.
be true to them.
Oh,
And
I like it. So you do a spreadsheet on them. I like this. Go
oh
ahead,
yeah,
keep
yeah. No, I
going.
do a lot of spreadsheets. I did it for the other two novels, and just for like mapping out the parts so that I know what happens where, and know that I'm avoiding inconsistencies. Say,
Okay, so you
yeah, I'm only
really
about 10,000 words in so far, but so far so good.
nice. So you really outline extensively before writing. That's awesome because some people
And
discover as they go. Like I discover as I go.
yeah,
And like I literally unfold. I'm like the guy with the purple crayon. It's like, oh yeah, well that would make sense. Yeah, that would make sense. I mean, but I'd rather be more calculated because then you probably get a much more coherent story. I would think because you
I th-
mapped out everything in your head,
yes, I
right?
know this. I know the ending already.
Okay. Wow.
I
Oh.
have the ending, and there's a certain progression that I have to get to get to that point,
Okay.
and it will be well. I'll say no more about that one.
I think no more, but we will be waiting for that new one. How do you handle like writer's block or like creative stagnation?
Well, I feel like the because I spent so much time writing about the novel before it began,
Right.
it's not
Right.
happening. I feel like I know basically what I want to happen. There are five main characters,
Mm,
and something is always going on with some, and they're all old friends from when they were like 8 years old. So they're all
mhm.
always texting one another and in touch with one another and bumping these strange things that are happening to them off one another. So
Oh,
there's
I love
always something to write. It's always like, do I write this part first or that part? It's not like I don't know what to write next.
that's I like the spreadsheet idea. Sounds like you got the characters and themes down, which is what most writers I would think have a problem is developing their approach, how they develop the characters and everything into a novel. That makes it more challenging. But that sounds like what they do in film. The whole spreadsheet thing, because that's where I learned it from NYU. That's where I learned that tip, and I was like, wow, that makes
Mm,
life so much easier to have the characters down, know who they are, what they wouldn't do, and where you're going with this, or what you're everything. in detail. It makes it much
I
easier.
have so many details on each one, down to their religion, down to their past relationships, relationships with their parents, what
Mhm.
they do for a living, what they would rather be doing for a living.
Wow. Wow, you really go in. I'm
Which one,
admiring you.
which one had a thing for this other one years
Wow.
ago? Which one still has a thing for this certain other one?
Okay, so you got it down. That's really so. Writers, if you're listening, this is great. That's a great tip. One of the best ever. Do a spreadsheet on your characters, know who they are down to the detail, and it makes the writer's block is boom, not really going to happen because you already plotted everything out. Now it's just filling in dialogue, right?
Scribbling and bibbling.
Scribbling and bibbling. Are there reoccurring themes and messages that you aim to explore when you're writing?
There there are, and some of them I know now. Some of them I'm kind of picking up as I go along.
Mhm.
But
Okay.
the probably the central, if I could say one central word about this novel, it
Mhm.
is isolation.
Oh. Well, that's good after the pandemic. That'll be interesting to see what that's
Yes,
about.
and
I
even in
can't wait.
today's world,
Right.
there's so much to explore in that one theme. If I could say that one word is, if I could summarize that novel, the newest novel, in one word, that's the word.
Ooh, I like this. So this sounds like a good novel. Do you
Hmm.
base your characters on real people? And if so, how do you balance realism and fictionalism? I know you said the
Well, I
other one
think,
wasn't.
yeah, wait, I think there are there's a character now and then in both
Mhm.
the novels I've done who
Mhm.
are based loosely on a person.
Okay.
I won't. It's not. It's more like the general manner of the person, say. And
I got you.
in this particular one has helped me to
Mhm.
think of certain actors
Oh,
who
who you'd like to play the cast?
yeah, that I can kind of imagine as I'm writing about, like, this particular woman or this particular guy.
Okay.
It is helping me. Like, there's one
Okay.
character who, if you know Brad Dourif, who does the
No.
voice of Chucky,
Oh, yes.
his daughter Fiona
Oh, not
has
Fiona
been in
Apple.
a no, Fiona Dourif.
Oh no, I don't know.
Well, she's been in a couple of the Chucky movies. I'm not a huge fan of them, but they're kind of fun. And
Right.
there's one particular character that helps me to think of this actress
Hmm.
playing that role, even though
Oh,
it's a novel, not a screenplay.
right. That's
But
awesome.
it's
Well,
it's
I mean, gotta have a visual, in my opinion. But that's awesome. How much research do you typically do when you write your novels, especially like when you're writing about specific settings or like historic periods or another world or something like that?
mhm. Yeah, there's a lot that I do. In fact, there's more that I have to do for this particular one because it happens in Mount Kisco. There are certain
Oh,
things that were present like decades ago that I have to know exactly where something was. Um,
historical society.
so I have to do that. For the Coventry, which takes place in the Adirondacks, we were up there, and I did a
Mhm.
lot of research when we were up there, and
Nice.
then more talking to various people. I ended up talking to a woman who was running the morgue in New York City.
Wow.
I think her name was Ellen
I'd love to
Borokov, I
interview
think.
her.
Oh yeah, yes, and she's mentioned in the in the in the book for the various people who helped me with things. I asked her for the certain state
Nice.
of decomposition of a body
Right.
that had
Right.
been, uh, well,
I
killed in a
got it. I
certain.
got it. I got it. Certain factors, yeah, and that's really good. That means that's so. So it's authenticity. I can't even say the word authenticity. I can say the word today. I don't know what's wrong.
No,
My tongue twist. Being authentic is
sure.
it very important to you when you're
Oh yeah,
when you're doing certain themes and cultures or in your writing? It
yeah.
appears it must be for you to do research. Wow.
What
Um,
It's one thing to wing it when you're doing the actual writing, but before you actually think, okay, this is ready for the world, you have to be sure of every word.
Yes, I'm learning that, and I should have known that. But sometimes I used to classify myself as a lazy writer. But I'm learning to do better because then the message gets missed, and I don't want that. So go figure.
Sure.
Walk us through your journey to getting published. Like any notable challenges or success along the way?
Well, for both the books that I've done have been indie. I had
Okay,
done my darnest with Hindred Spirits in particular to woo publishers
right.
when I first wrote it, and I actually with both of them set them
Mhm.
down for many years
Okay,
while I went about my career at Consumer Reports, PC Magazine, other magazines.
right.
Career as a writer and editor and all this. Um, I put them down for a while, and then came the pandemic, and my wife Elena said, "Hey,
Mhm.
you have these. We're doing nothing.
Right,
It's 2021. We're doing nothing.
right,
Work has basically stopped. Why don't you get back to these?"
right. Wow.
And both these novels and the other nonfiction book, the Vogel book, went through, revised, updated, re-edited everything. Did it
Nice.
through Amazon KDP, though there are a lot of different routes to the same thing,
I
and
like them.
it helped a lot. With this third one, I think I'm going to try again with a small publisher
Yes,
because I
yeah. I
think
was gonna say I think you should try those other ones again too. Why not? Right?
well
Or once you do
these
it,
two
you can't.
these two are out. It's possible that if this new one got the attention of a small press, they may say, "Hey, we can republish these or something," but we'll see.
Okay, let's see. Let's see what happens. How
Yeah.
has the publishing landscape changed since you first started? Because I know the pandemic made it us writers important again.
Oh yeah, yeah. A lot of people started reading
Very.
again, and there's a
Yes.
lot of that, and also not just with COVID, but definitely since I wrote the novels, the
Mhm.
only route to indie publishing was to go to what do they call it, like a hybrid publisher, Vanity Press,
Right.
pay them several $1,000s,
Right.
where they print up a bunch of your books,
Hmm.
no editing really, or nothing really to speak of, and say, "Okay, here are your books, and
Right.
it's up to you to find
Sell them.
enough friends and colleagues
Good
to
luck.
sell them." But there was
Yeah.
no hope of ever, getting back that amount that you spent. So that's
Right.
why they call it the vanity press. It's like it matters more to your ego than to your wallet, say. And
Advantage.
in more recent years, Amazon, I think they called it Creative Space first. Now it's,
Yes. Great fit. I love
Kindle
them.
Direct Publishing, and,
Yep.
Ingram Spark is another route that people take, and Barnes&
Oh,
and
I
Noble
never.
too. There are different companies people can use to do the same exact thing, upload their book, design a cover, or preferably get someone to design it for them,
Right.
and,
Lulu is good. Yeah.
yeah, there are
Lulu.com.
all kinds of ways of getting there without a huge expense.
Right.
The
Right. Today's anything's possible. Like you don't really. You could do a book totally free. I can tell you how to do that. I'm a master at that now. But
mm,
before I had no idea. But when you have to do something and get it done, you find a way. So
yes.
I love Amazon KDP, Create Space. I love those venues. I think if you have nothing else, it's better than not. You're gonna wait for publishing house to pick you up, or not ever have your work read. Or
Yes.
I
Yep.
said read, read. I've got these English ghosts in my head. Come on now, love. Come on, love. Don't ask where they're coming from.
Aw,
They're just in my head. So I'm saying every word twisted wrong.
aw.
But so
We
advice for aspiring writers. What advice would you give aspiring novelists who are just starting out, maybe?
I would say read a lot to know what is out there.
Hmm.
What sort of things are in there? What sort of characters? What sort of situations? Get an idea of from what is out through the traditional press, what
Hmm.
scares people,
Mm.
because that very thing changes through the decades.
Yes,
There were
it
things
does.
like a Frankenstein's monster in reanimation. Well, I don't know.
Blob,
I may not do it these
blob.
days.
Yep, yep.
Yeah,
You're right. There are different genres of scare. There's the birds. There's blobs. There was vampires,
yeah,
ghouls. deceased people. I mean, you're right. We actually cars. Remember Christine? Cars.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So there
Cujo.
dolls. And yeah, there are a genre of in itself of okay, where are we going with this horror? So
Sure.
that's
Dolls are still big. Look at
yes, they are. I
Annabelle.
don't know why they keep tainting our poor dolls. It's like leave my doll alone. My Sasha just wants to sit on a bed for the rest of her life and relax. Are there
Yeah,
any writing techniques or habits that you have particularly benefited from your own career?
well, I would say do something every day.
Mm,
Make it
that was
if you have a career, it may be hard to give it time, but I would say give it say I'm going to work on it X days a week,
right.
X minutes a day on these particular days. And
Hmm.
if I feel like I can handle more, I'll increase it.
Hmm.
But I have to do this amount, do something every day, whether it's the writing itself. And if you have, for people who do have writer's block, I would say don't write it if you don't know exactly what to write, write about it. Maybe keep a
Mm,
journal about the novel, about
mm,
this
that's a good
character,
idea.
what this character feels about this, how this character gets along with that one, why this one is a jerk to this other one, or
Mhm.
various things.
Right. Well, I read a book, The Artist's Way by Nzinga. I forgot her last name. Sorry, Nzinga. But it was a great book, The Artist's Way. And it just the one thing I remember from the book was write every day for at least 15 minutes to a half an hour or an hour if you can do it. If
Mhm.
you can get that lucky, but even 15 minutes. And
Yeah,
guess what you write? Absolutely nothing. Whatever comes to your mind. Just keep writing and writing, 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 writing. So that when you get ready to sit down to say, I want to write about my novel,
yeah,
but I don't know. Now you can just organize the thoughts like, well, I'll just write something how I would like this novel to go. Then you can channel it. But she said
sure.
initially, just write about anything.
Yeah,
Literally.
that
I
sounds
went to the
good.
store, I'm looking at the TV, because eventually you're getting all the garbage out and then you get to the good stuff.
Yes,
So
yes.
it's the best thing I've had happen to me. So
It's
I
true.
don't
It's
know.
like keeping
So,
keeping the wheels greased.
exactly. Exactly.
Mhm.
Who are some of your favorite authors and how have they influenced your writing?
Oh, let's see. It's hard to know the how because so much of influence is subconscious.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorites is F. Paul Wilson.
F. Paul Wilson. Okay.
He wrote a book that they made into a movie called The Keep. He's
Okay.
been around for years.
Okay. The keep.
Um, let's see, probably Brian Lumley, who I
Brian
think he recently passed away. He wrote a series called Necroscope. A
Necroscope. Sounds familiar.
necroscope. A young guy discovers that he can communicate with the dead,
Mm.
and they could speak to him like through his mind, and they tell him things that they want, things
Mm-hmm.
that they left undone, that they would
Oh,
like him to help them with. And at
really?
first he's like, leave me alone, get out of here, but he can't turn it off. They're always there.
Oh,
And
wow.
and this went on for like several books because of course the dead that speak to him are not necessarily normal dead. A few of them are undead,
Okay.
and they want back into the world. They see him as
This
a
is
champ.
good.
There was
Wow.
it was a really good series. That's one of course Stephen King, but more his early stuff. I grew up
Mm.
reading him.
Okay. Stephen King. Yeah. I was going to
Sure,
say, yeah, he
that's kind of
definitely impacted.
obligatory to mention Stephen King.
Yeah.
One thing
Well,
one thing about him is the way he writes about Maine.
uh-huh.
There's something that any writer could learn about who's trying to set something in a locale.
Okay.
Like I just like the detail that he gets into with the town that he's, let's say Derby with it. Say I think that's the name of it.
Right.
Or
Derby.
various towns. I probably had a little influence there in writing the Coventry,
Okay.
this one here, because it's
Yes.
based in the Adirondacks in the Lake George area. And
I know Lake George.
yeah, and there was so much these rolling hills and forests,
Yeah.
old wood,
Yes.
all this. There's so much to it, and we think of trees as beneficial,
Right.
and well, by and large, they are. They
Yeah.
keep the world going. But what
Mm,
if one were not?
decided. That's so
And
funny.
this is a tree that at one time was used for worship by a deadly coven.
That's
And
so weird you said that. You know, my Quakers, they have a retreat there at something Bay. What's it called? Right there, Silver Bay. Silver Bay is where the Quakers go every year. I go up there.
oh,
Well, I haven't
what?
been there in a while, but that's where we go every year.
Okay.
And they have their big retreat. So when you say Lake George, I'm like, I'm all in. Let's go, because I can write a scary movie walking on the paths.
It's
Listen, cabins.
a
Oh my God.
lot of inspiration in Lake George. But say
Oh, yeah.
with King, just it's kind of like I wouldn't say I'm trying to do with Mount Kisco what he did with Maine. I'm not thinking about Stephen King at this point in my life. But
Right.
there's so much in the town itself that I feel like will resonate with people,
Right.
and in a
Oh, wow.
universal way, not just people who live in Westchester, say. But I think this one really needs to be in one place,
Okay. I think it's going to be awesome.
and I'm enjoying it a lot so far.
Okay. Good, 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 good. I can't wait. Are there any let me see. Well, how about this? What's your future projects? Can you share any details about any upcoming projects that you're working on, like the one you mentioned before? You can't say the name, so I get it.
Yeah, not
I
yeah. The
get it.
name is not. Just a couple of people know the name.
Okay.
There's that. There is a few short stories that I'm marketing around. There is
Okay.
a screenplay completed of The Coventry that I have shown to one director. He's told
Oh,
me already he doesn't feel he has the bandwidth to do it, but
okay.
he's helping guide me through getting it ready for whoever. And
Okay.
because he thinks
Fabulous.
it's a very visual book, and
Mm,
I have one for Hindred Spirits that I'm working on too, very slowly, but it's kind of like everything is taking a back seat to the new novel.
okay.
I,
Okay.
I
So
don't
that's
want to give up the momentum there.
no, definitely not. Take it while you can get it. And so
Sure.
how do you engage your readers and what role do they play in your writing process?
Well, there are some writers. I'm kind of I guess you'd say an introvert during the writing. There are
Hmm.
some people who have a whole host of friends who are readers and writers who are reading this piece and that piece and commenting and giving feedback and all this. I
Right.
cannot work that way. Maybe it's
Okay.
maybe I'm more old style, but no one has read anything of this that I've written so far, and that's kind of the way I have to keep it.
Okay.
I trust
I,
my gut implicitly,
you should absolutely, because I believe your gift is your gift, and nobody can tell you how to edit that. That's just my
and
opinion.
everyone would have a different idea of it. It's kind of like writing a novel by committee.
Right.
Nothing great is ever done by committee.
No, that's a good one. So that's good. So you haven't received memorable feedback or nothing. So have you? How about this? Have you received feedback from past books from readers that you influenced?
Well,
You know what I'm
not
saying? Like, oh, I read the book and I was really inspired by this, or this is an interesting topic.
I've gotten a lot of good comments from people. Um,
Mm.
More direct comments than reviews. Unfortunately, it's always hard to
Okay,
take the time to write a review, but I've gotten a lot of good feedback from people. And
okay,
as far as people who want to be writing, a few who say that I have this in my head and I want to do this and hope this gets me going. There's been a little bit of that.
we should start a Westchester's writers group. I think I keep saying I'm going to start one. How has
Mm.
being a novelist impacted your life personally and professionally?
I'm sorry. Say again.
How has being a novelist impacted your life professionally and personally?
Oh, well, I guess my wife would say that I could never have a conversation with anyone without bringing up the books in one way or another.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
But
Self promote.
yeah, I'm always
That's
in
it.
sell mode, I guess. Um,
That's good.
Other than that, it's kind of like I'm at this point in my life. I'm kind of semi-retired,
Right.
Like the freelance work has eased up some, but
Hmm.
I still have all this energy and things that I want to accomplish. So in a sense, I don't know if I'll ever have the feeling of being retired, even when
Good for you.
I'm at actually that age.
Good for you.
And
They
so I always feel like there's more to be done.
absolutely, and there always is, as long as you're breathing. I believe. I mean,
That's true.
I know people that are fully functioning, going around here at 100 years old. It happens because I think whatever your spirit was at 20 is what your spirit will be at 70.
It's
So
true. It's
if
true.
you were
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, I'm just going to do this job till the last minute, then that's what you're going to be at 70. But if you
Right.
were like, oh, well, let me see what the next big thing is. I want to get my art out here. I want to just go out here and put this here and do that. That's how you're going to be 70. It doesn't stop. It doesn't. From what I hear from all my seniors, who I love interviewing seniors, they're my favorite people.
Mhm.
They still like to dance. You just may not be able to because you had a hip replacement, but you like to dance. You still like to write, whatever it is, whatever you did, you still like those
Yes.
things. There's nothing changed except for your body's appearance,
Right.
right?
Right.
So
It's
I
true.
say write as long as you can.
Hmm.
What do you hope your readers take away from your novels? That's our last question for you.
Oh, what? I hope that they think, hope I could sleep tonight.
I hope I can get some rest. Well,
Or the thinking ways, well, the next chapter I read, I think I better read earlier in the day.
let's see. Wait.
But
Let's read that. Look, is
yeah,
it that
I want
scary?
people.
Is it that scary?
Well, Hindred Spirits
Let me see.
is,
It is this one. That's this one, guys. In
yes,
case you haven't
that
seen
one is scary. It's has a lot of intensity early on that a few
it.
readers have had trouble with just because it is the subject of abuse.
Okay. So then, okay. Okay.
So the child in question could not possibly have her spirit leave her body without the trauma that she experiences in the everyday. So I had to create
Okay.
a monster uh, who dominates the opening of the book. So in that
Uh-huh.
sense, that is very intense. In the Coventry, it's more of a slow build, but I know a few people who read Hindred Spirits who have thought, I'm not sure I could read this one. I started soon into it, and it's really, really scary.
Oh, really?
It's more,
Look, if the writer's scary, it's scary.
yeah, right. It's I wanted to go be more ambitious and go even darker with the second one. There's nothing like abuse or anything like that in it, but
Right. Right.
there are a lot of scares.
Scary
And
moment.
the third one, it's more like um supernatural event,
Uh-huh.
psychological terror
Ooh.
as a result.
Oh,
So
wow.
there is supernatural, but it is a mix of supernatural and, we always say it's not the problems we have in life, it's how we react to them.
Right.
Well, these
And
5 characters have a big problem, and it's
wow.
affecting their lives in a big way, and they don't know
What?
what to do about it.
Oh, that's scary. Very
So
scary. You got me
so
now. I'm like, I think I want to get the book. Do I want to get the book? Get the book. Get the book.
it's
I love scary movies. I'm one of the people who say I don't want to be scared, and then I'm like, go ahead. What else is going on? Let me see. You know. So everybody has that
Yeah,
little bit of them. Like, well, I don't want to see it. What does this say? What is it? So I can't wait
yeah.
to read
Oh,
it. And I thank you so much for taking the time to come, guys. If you get a chance, make sure you go out and get the books, Hindred Spirits, Ed, Ed Perratore. And I keep wanting to say it very Italian way, Perratore.
oh, I
That's
like
what
it.
I want to say it that way. And the other one is the Coventry. And they can find these books where is it on Amazon and where
Yep,
else?
definitely on Amazon in paperback and Kindle.
Okay.
And if they're in Westchester County, there are a few local stores that stock one or both of them
Oh,
in
fabulous.
Mount Kisco, Katona, Tarrytown, and
Oh,
but for I know this is international, so Amazon anywhere in the world, you can get it in whichever of those two forms you like.
okay.
And
And you're on
and
Facebook? Are you on Facebook?
I'm on Facebook and Twitter, LinkedIn. Have a writer page on Facebook. It's easy to find us under my name.
Okay.
And
I put
sure.
this on
And
here. Yeah. Okay. Facebook, LinkedIn. Yeah. There you go. So I tell
yeah,
everybody
sure.
just make sure you check them out. Anything else before we go? Any last piece of advice or anything coming up that you
Well,
want us to know?
I think well, I would say to everyone, whether it's my book or someone else's, don't give up reading. A lot of people are feeling these days like they're so stressed, they're so busy, they just don't have time to read. But
Right.
reading helps us to deal with everything in life.
It
And
does.
we need to get into these other little worlds
Mhm.
to cope with everything going
Yeah.
on in our lives. Whether it's a
Yes.
movie or a book, it's good to get away into something else for a while.
Absolutely. That's a good note to end on. So hang out with me for a minute there, guys. I hope you share and like the video. Share more importantly, because somebody out there is a writer. Somebody may be over 30 writing, saying, I can't do this. And we
Yeah.
want to tell them that, yeah, you can do anything you want. There's possibilities for everything. Even if you're not working, you can get a book up on Amazon for free. Like, and you can make your book cover from what's it called, a Canva app. I mean, there's 500 free things for you available now, so there's no excuse. Whatever your gift is, get to it and make it happen, because your gift may either inspire someone, motivate someone, or stop someone in the moment of the height of their sadness by reading it. They may be inspired or encouraged. So
Yeah.
that's why I personally like every artist doing exactly what they were born to do, because I believe it's like a stopper that the universe made to help
Mm.
us get through things that we're going through in life. That's my personal opinion. Good or bad, good, bad, or nugget. Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hang out with me, Ed, while I say goodbye to everybody. Guys, don't
Okay.
forget, go get the book, Hindred Spirits, and the Coventry. Woohoo! Go out and get it. All right. And we will see you again next week. Thank you for watching Ed Hang Out. Ready?
Sure.
All right.
Thank
Bye,
thank you,
guys.
Tanya.